What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a good Memorial Day. There's this thing that very few people are aware of that affects everyone 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, actually every second. And this thing either causes you to be successful, to make a lot of money, to hit your goals in every area of life, either very quickly or struggle for years to never accomplish anything. This is the reason why I made over $100,000 in profit the first full year I was phone flipping. And once you are aware of this, you can use this in your life to get better results. So what is this thing? It's called second and third order consequences. And let me just kind of explain it in a way that, hopefully will kind of make some sense. So if we go back about 5 years ago, I'm fairly overweight. I was 273 pounds. So I was basically about 80 pounds fatter than what I am right now. And by being that overweight, it caused certain things in my life. So what I would do is back then I had a job. And I hated having a job. I just couldn't stand having a job. I hated having a job. So I would get off work. And I'd want to work on my business. It wasn't phone flipping. I had this other thing. I was trying to make this other thing happen. So my goal was to work on my business. But instead of working on the business, what I would do is I would sedate myself. I would try to drown out the unhappiness that I felt in my life by having to have a job and not having the freedom of being an entrepreneur. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So what I would do is I would go to the grocery store and I'd buy a whole bunch of junk food. It was usually about $10 worth of junk food. So it was donut holes, cookies, candy bars, ice creams. I mean, it would be like $10, $12-ish worth of junk food. Probably, I don't know, maybe 3,000 calories, like cake, definitely like cake. And then I would eat all that junk food. And most people would see that just eating that junk food is an event in and of itself. Aaron ate the junk food. Okay, Aaron, junk food's not good for you. If you're trying to be an optimal human, you probably shouldn't have ate the junk food, but you ate the junk food. Okay, that's fine. Go home and work on the business. Well, the problem is the junk food was the first thing that happened. The second consequence, the second thing that happened because of the junk food is I would get a massive sugar rush. I'd get a massive sugar rush and I wouldn't be able to think, I wouldn't be able to concentrate, I would be pretty much fucking worthless. Have you ever ate a bunch of food or ate too much food, maybe junk food, and then you realize that you couldn't think for a few hours? You didn't want to do anything. You just wanted to sit there and blah and just sit there on the couch and watch TV. And even if you tried to think and work on your business, maybe go through training or put up ads, you just couldn't get yourself to do anything. So that's what would happen to me. The first thing would be I would eat the junk food. The second thing I would do is I couldn't work on my business because I had this massive fucking sugar rush. And because all the energy in my body went to try to digest all this fucking junk food that I had. And my body would digest the food, but it wouldn't get any nutritional value from the food. Bodies are like a machine, right? If you got a car, you put gas in it, you get oil changes, the tires are running low on air, you put air on it, the car's gonna run pretty good. If you, put baking soda where the oil is supposed to go, and instead of putting gasoline, you put canola oil or you put cooking oil, the car is not going to run good. So because I wasn't putting good food in my body was spending all this energy to try to process food. One of the most things that uses the most amount of energy. And I've heard a couple people, Alex Becker and this other guy, both say that it uses, I believe they both said it uses either a lot or either the most amount of energy your body uses for anything than anything else is digesting food. So I ate too much food. My body would spend all this energy trying to digest the food. It wouldn't get any nutritional value out of it. So even after a few hours, I would still feel like crap, and then I would pass out. So that was the second thing that happened. The third thing that happened is I'd wake up the next day, and this might be too much information, but I'd be constipated. So I'd wake up the next day, and instead of waking up with a lot of energy and jumping out of the bed and being able to go do whatever it is I want to do, I'd roll out of bed. I'm groggy. And then I go to the bathroom. I sit in the bathroom I don't know, I'm telling you guys this. Sit in the bathroom constipated for like a fucking, 30 minutes or however long it was. I'm trying to get out all the food, right? But I'm all backed up. So that is the third consequence that happened from that. Then I would go to work. Back then I could recover from junk food a lot faster than I could now. Now if I did that, I probably wouldn't be productive for a fucking week. But I'd go to work and I'd sell some stuff. And then after work, because I ate all that sugar, and sugar is very addicting. I think there's some studies said sugar is more addicting than cocaine. Afterwards, kind of had a craving for sugar. And then on top of that, I had this thing in the back of my mind where the day before, instead of working on my business, which would get me out of the job that I hated, I just ate a bunch of sugar, and I didn't like the fact that I did that, and I kind of wanted to sedate myself and forget that memory. There was more momentum built up where it was easier for me to go get some junk food again and repeat the process. Fourth order consequences. And I continued down this spiral. And then I started gaining weight. And then there's all these other things. I started gaining weight. What happens when you gain a bunch of weight? Okay? My breathing would get heavy. It would get heavy. I wouldn't feel very attractive when I went out. So I was less likely to want to approach girls. Because, I look like fucking shit. And, I look like shit. I probably smelled like shit back then. When you're fat and overweight, you sweat a lot more. I used to sweat all the time. So just sitting there, just sitting somewhere, I used to have sweat running down my back. I wouldn't want to go to the gym and exercise because I couldn't do anything because I'd feel embarrassed. I'd get on I would try to walk on the treadmill, and my legs, because they had got enough fat, would stick together. They wouldn't stick together, but they'd scrape up against each other. And just getting on the treadmill and trying to walk a half an hour, or not a half, I couldn't even fucking do that. What am I talking about? A quarter of a mile or a half a mile, I would get like rug burn on my legs. So it was harder for me to exercise. Fifth, sixth, seventh order consequences. So this one decision to eat a bunch of junk food to sedate myself instead of making the decision to go home and work on my business had all these other consequences that happened hours, days, weeks, and months later. We could take an imaginary scenario, which probably is not too far common from the truth. So let's say that there is a married man. So, guy's a married guy. And he gets married with his wife. They've been married for a little bit. And he's working at his job. Don't know why he'd want to have a job, but for whatever reason, working at the job. Working at the job, and he's trying to get a promotion, trying to take care of his family. And he's got a couple kids now. And he's working 50, 60 hours a week. And all this work stresses him out. So there's different things you can do. Everyone here has free will. You can make the decision to do certain things. Just because I was eating junk food, I could have made the decision to stop. And eventually I did. That's why I'm fucking 80 pounds lighter than where I was a handful of years ago. But the married guy, working 50, 60 hours a week, his job is very stressful. So he can make the decision to go to the gym to let out some of that stress, to learn to meditate. But instead, as a lot of people do, husband decides to go the fastest route to get rid of that stress. So after work, he goes to the bar and has a few drinks of alcohol. Now we know alcohol has no nutritional value. I think it does something, you go Google it, but it does something in your brain where it like restricts airflow to your brain. That's how you get drunk, right? That's definitely not good to do if you want to be productive. So he does that. Okay, he feels a little bit more relaxed. First order consequences. What's the second order consequences? Well, he was supposed to be home at 5. He makes up a little white lie. Hey, sorry, honey, I know I was supposed to be home at 5. I got caught up at work. Makes a little lie. I got caught up at work, but I'll be home around 8 or 9. Now, he lies. When you lie, either to yourself, even if you try to suppress it, it's always going to be there to someone else. We all fucking know when we lie. You're not supposed to lie. So he gets home from work, and instead of taking his kids home and spending time with his wife, he makes the excuse that he needs to stay at the office and he needs to drink a little bit because he's doing this to take care of his family. Well, he gets home, he's a little bit hungover. He can't be, or not hungover, but he's a little bit tipsy. You can't be too productive when you're tipsy, right? It's because you literally are restricting airflow to your brain. Gets home, kids are asleep. His wife was kind of hoping he would get home to be there for his family. But it's a one-time exception, no big deal. It happens, it's work. He goes to sleep, okay? He goes to sleep, he wakes up the next day with a hangover. Before, he used to be able to wake up and just get to work, but now he wakes up with a hangover, okay? Second order consequences. That decision to go out there and drink had all these subsequent consequences, all these subsequent things that have happened because of this bad decision that was made. Wakes up the next day with a hangover. Well, fuck, he's got a fucking 10-hour day of work. He can't be hungover. So he takes some stuff to try to wake himself up. And he drinks more coffee than usual. And he's able to go to work. But halfway through work, he finds himself, instead of one coffee, he usually drinks one coffee, right? Coffee, just one coffee. Well, now he's got to go get a 5-hour energy drink to try to make it through work. A fourth order consequence. That 5-hour energy is stimulating his brain. It's putting extra caffeine that he's used to. So now, when he tries to go to sleep, he doesn't have that good of sleep the next day. And because of that, he needs extra coffee to wake him up. So now he's drinking more coffee, and now he gets on pills to help him go to sleep. And now he's going out and he's drinking more. And he's spending less time with his kids and less time with his family. And he's literally, the thing that he was trying to do to take care of his family, now it's his goal, which was to take care of his family. He's now spending less time with his family. And he's gaining weight, because what do? People drink, people like to eat junk food. So now he's gaining weight, and he doesn't want his kids to see him as this unproductive person, not to see him at their optimal. So he spends less time with his kids. Wife wonders what's happening. He's not as connected to his wife as he used to be when they met. They try to get intimate, but when you eat a lot of sugar and you're not, your fitness isn't there, intimacy can be quicker than it is before, right? Where when you're taking care of your body and you're intimate, you can be more alert. Eating too much sugar, actually, it's proven that it again, this might be too much information, but it hurts you being able to perform in the bedroom. So now, even when he tries to be intimate, he can't be how he used to be, and everything goes downhill, and he kind of keeps going down this route, and eventually he gets a divorce. These actions that we take have there's multiple consequences. They're not just a one-time thing. We take these things and there's multiple consequences that happen afterwards. They're called orders, second orders, third orders, and it actually doesn't stop there. It's usually 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th orders, and they keep going out. Now, the good thing is you can make a decision. Even though there's momentum that's built up going through these bad habits, as we could call them, you can make a decision to stop these bad habits, to take different things. That, okay, I'm not going to eat any junk food. When I was overweight, it wasn't the easiest thing, but I just made a decision, and one day I'm done fucking eating junk food. And in one day I started eating really, really healthy. And I started going to the gym. And the first time I went to the gym, I think I walked like a quarter mile on a treadmill and I was done. It wasn't that glorious. But I did that every day, eating healthy, going to the gym, and I started to be able to walk instead of a quarter mile, a third of a mile, and then half a mile. And then I started to be able to run. And I started to be able to also, I might run a quarter mile, walk a quarter mile, and then I could even go do some weights for 10 minutes before I definitely wasn't at the gym for an hour, but instead of at the gym for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And you can build momentum in that. Just a couple weeks ago, I went to the gym and I ran like 5.5 miles in I think it was a little more than 60 minutes. This is how I became successful phone flipping. I became massively successful phone flipping by putting up lots of ads. That was the first thing. I'm going to put up lots of ads every single day. By putting up lots of ads, I got lots of leads. By negotiating, I knew some stuff from selling before. I definitely was not anywhere near where I am with negotiating now. But because I put up lots of ads, I had lots of opportunities with people to make offers. So I would make lots of offers on phones. And I would get a phone every single fucking day. I would always get an item every single day. So what did this do when I got an item every day? This built my belief in the business, because I had this big fear that every day I would wake up and not be able to get any more phones. But by every single day, me being able to get one phone, it wasn't too uncommon that it was an iPhone 6S Plus that I sold and I made $50 in profit on. But by me doing that and having these wins every single day, it built my belief that, this business works. Because every day, although I'm nervous I'm not going to get any phones, I'm proving to myself with results. Not doing positive thinking. I'm not hoping. I'm actually getting fucking results in my life that show me that this business works. What are some of the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th order consequences from me putting up ads every day and negotiating with 10, 15, 20 people a day? I got real good at negotiating real fast. I got real good at appraising real fast. People say, Aaron, how did you get real good at appraising? Well, if you're appraising 15 to 20 items a day and you do that for 2 weeks, your appraisal skills get good. If you're not putting up a lot of ads, if you're not negotiating and talking to people, and you're appraising, 0 to 3 items a day, you could probably go a couple months and your appraisal skills they could still not be that good. And not only that, your confidence in the appraisal skills are not that good, right? When I'm appraising lots of items daily and I'm picking up one item a day and I'm flipping that and I was making $50 to $60 in profit, my negotiating skills were getting better because I had lots of leads I could test out different stuff on. I was also proving to myself that this business works, and I was also proving to myself that appraisals actually work because I was buying them for a certain price and I was able to sell for more, for $50, $60. And if I had little mistakes, which I did, instead of focusing on these errors and how I had to lose money on this deal because I made a little mistake, the next day I would go get a phone and make $50, $60, and then I was focused on that win instead of how I lost $20. It's real easy to slide into a thing where you lose money on a deal. You make a mistake. Everyone fucking makes mistakes phone flipping, but if you're not putting up a lot of ads, if your negotiating is not good, it's very easy to have that be something that almost stops you from the business from a couple months. But when you're putting up lots of ads and you have lots of people to negotiate with and you close another deal, even when it's only, $60 profit deal, that's a fucking win. So you're saying, okay, I made a little mistake. I broke even or lost money, or maybe I only made $5 or $10. But this next deal I did, I just made $65. Oh shit, right? This even happens to me now. I have people that flake or try to sell me clone phones and I don't like it, and it kind of pisses me off. But because my pipeline's so full and I'm always getting new items, the last 2 items I picked up, I should be making $100 profit on them. They're things for your ears. So I'm always getting these wins, so it keeps the momentum going. Okay? And then what else did this allow me to do? This allowed me to be more aggressive with my offers. Oh, well, shit, let me try to offer $80. Make it where I can make $80 in profit, $100 in profit. Oh, shit, you can actually make $100 in profit, $150, $200 in profit. When you run a lot of leads, you start to get repeat business. So now I'm getting people took me a few months to start getting some repeat business, but now I was getting repeat business. And then on top of that, I'm closing new deals from ads, okay? You find people that give you repeat business. How do you get repeat business? You got to grind it out and message thousands and thousands of people, but then you start to get some repeat business. You get people that bring you items consistently. You get people that bring you items. They upgrade their phone every year and they call you. I get repeat customers like that, like no problem at all. I picked up a phone, it was a few months ago, from someone that I don't think I've seen them in like 2 years, but they upgraded their phone. They had another phone. They reached out to me. So now business is really going because I'm getting some repeat business. And then on top of that, I'm making more profit than I was before. And it's just a consistent spiral of wins. Most people don't do that because they're not consistent. They don't do the right things. They don't put up the right ads, so they don't get good at negotiating, and then they don't get good at appraisals, and their belief in their business isn't that good to begin with, and they never prove to themselves with results day after day, week after week, month after month for a couple years that this business works, and they never get the momentum that they need to be massively successful. So how does this apply to your business and to your life? What you want to do is you want to just start to become aware of the different actions that you take. Whether it's what you eat, because diet is very, very important. What you eat, it's the actions that you're taking in your business, what you're doing if you're watching Netflix or reading a book. What does reading a book do? Well, reading a book, what it does is it of course gives you better knowledge. But the other thing it does is when you read a book, it helps expand your attention span so you can think better. So not only is it like better than Netflix, of course, because you're getting better information, but if you read a book for an hour, the next day when you're in that 10-minute negotiating and before you couldn't really think and you weren't really sure you couldn't just really pay attention to all the intricacies of the message negotiation. You read that book for an hour instead of watching Netflix. That helps expand your focus. Now you're able to focus better on that message negotiation. Now, with everything else being the same, there's a higher chance you're closing that message negotiation. There's a higher chance you're having a win of that because you're able to stay in there and say the words you need to say to get them down in price. So there's all these little things that happen. So how do you apply this in your life? You really want to be thinking about this forever, but just for the next 3 days, think about, first of all, what you did so far today. And what are the consequences of that? Did you eat bad food? It's going to give you brain fog, where you're not going to be able to think clearly and you're going to have a sugar rush and not be productive? Or did you eat healthy food that's going to allow you to fuel your brain and be able to be productive? Did you put up any ads? Did you not put up any ads? What are the consequences of that? When leads came in, did you respond to all the leads? Or did you go through 4 leads, get discouraged, and now you got 5 leads that you could respond to, but you didn't? That's like a big problem. You should be responding to all your leads. All your leads. What about at nighttime? What about when you had free time? You watch Netflix? Did you scroll there aimlessly on Facebook? Aaron, I don't have a TV. TVs are bad for you. Okay, you don't have a TV, but how much time did you spend scrolling aimlessly on Facebook and Instagram? Okay, that shit's almost even worse because usually the attention span of that's even less, right? You watch little things. It's almost worse for you than TV is. Or did you read a book? What are you going to do today? What are you going to do the rest of the day? What are the consequences going to be from that? What are the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth order consequences going to be from that? Tomorrow, the actions that you take, everything, watching Netflix, reading a book, the food that you're eating, we're going to exercise and go to the gym today, or we're going to make an excuse and not go to the gym. Doesn't have to be crazy, but walking on the treadmill for 25 minutes can be very good if you're not used to moving. It can be very good for you. You're going to put up ads. You're going to go through training to get better information. Or are you going to take actions that's just going to make it where it's easy for you to have a downward spiral in your business? Second, third, and it's actually fourth, fifth, sixth order consequences. It keeps going from that. The good news is if you've been in a spiral down where you've been making bad decisions, you can make a decision in a moment and take different actions where instead of having consequences that pull you down, you can start having consequences that pull you up. That's just what I did with my diet. I didn't slowly stop eating junk food. I just made a decision. I said, all right, you know what? It's not going to be easy, but you control the actions that you take. You control the food you put in your mouth. If it's healthy food or bad food, okay? No one holds a gun up to you. Well, Aaron, it's just easier to eat pizza and drink beer and ice cream. Okay, well then you're going to have brain fog. You're not going to be productive. Your immune system's probably going to be weak. It's probably going to be easier for you to get sick. You're probably going to get sick more often. Bunch of bad things that happen from that. But if you're someone that's willing to be productive and take some fucking responsibility for your life, what you can do, so okay, that's just what I did with food. I said, I'm going to start eating healthy. And I did. The next day I ate completely healthy. The day after that, completely healthy. Started going to the gym. It wasn't easy, but I started getting in this upward momentum. Okay? And then instead of listening to the radio, I actually kind of had a desire to want to learn. Because now that my brain was working, now that my brain was able to work and concentrate again, instead of just listening to music, I kind of had a desire to want to just get better information. Some people say, Aaron, how can I be more motivated? Well, one of the ways you be more motivated is you do these things that are good for you. And then instead of, just sitting there blah, you're like if I eat junk food, I'm not motivated. If I eat healthy and I go to the gym, I am motivated to just do things. I'm more motivated to read books. It's like a natural thing. I'm motivated to listen to podcasts and get better information. So be aware of the next 3 days. All the actions that you take. You're going to go through putting up ads or not, or making an excuse. There's no reason not to put up ads. Going through training, watching Netflix. Listening to the radio, going through an audiobook, listening to a YouTube video or a podcast where you can get better information. And understand that if you decide to veer off a little bit, there's not just one thing that happens. It's not just like, oh, I'm not going to put up ads for the day and that's that. There's multiple bad things that happen from not putting up ads that are a residual effect. However, if you decide to put up ads and start the negotiating, and you go through good training, start eating good food, there's multiple good benefits of that happen afterwards. So, this video was kind of long, but now that you're aware of this, you'll be able to use this for the rest of your life to be aware of the actions you take and the consequences that happen from those actions. If you like this video, let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good day.